ESPN created a list of the top 25 non-quarterback playmakers for the 2025 season as compiled by ESPN's Adam Rittenberg. I'm going to break down who they are, why they're here, and who might have been overlooked, all from the Big Ten. This is the Big Ten Huddle, and I'm your host, JR. We cover every Big Ten team here, talking about the entire conference and not just a select few teams. For this video, these game changers are not QBs, they are running backs, wide receivers, pass rushers, and more, set to light up the field in 2025. The Big Ten has 8 players on this list. The 2024 season saw non-quarterbacks like Colorado's Travis Hunter, Boise State's Ashton Genty shine in the Heisman race, proving playmakers can steal the spotlight. The question is, does the Big Ten have anybody like those guys for next season? For 2025, Rittenberg's list is stacked with talent, and the Big Ten is front and center. From established stars to transfer portal gems, these players are ready to make waves next season. Let's start with Ohio State's dynamic duo of Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. First, Jeremiah Smith, a sophomore wide receiver for the Buckeyes at 6'3", 215 pounds. Smith was a freshman phenom in 2024, racking up 76 receptions, 1,313 yards, and 15 total touchdowns. He broke Chris Carter's Ohio State freshman records, led the nation with six 50-plus yard catches, and earned Big Ten Wide Receiver of the Year honors. Smith had 3 or more receptions in every single game and averaged 20.1 yards per catch during Ohio State's national championship run. A Big Ten coach called him insane, and he has the opportunity to be a Heisman contender this year, so he is a lock for this list. Next, Caleb Downs, Ohio State junior safety. As a safety, he's probably not going to be a Heisman contender, but he's still a 6', 205 pound Downs, transferred from Alabama last season. He set freshman records there and delivered in 2024 for Ohio State to help them win a national championship. 81 tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, and a 79-yard punt return touchdown against Indiana, the Buckeyes' first in over a decade. He earned, or no, it was in a decade because it was 2014. He earned first team All-American honors and Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year with key plays against Texas, Michigan, and Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Downs is a favorite for the National Defensive Awards in 2025. Penn State's presence was also strong on this list with 3 players: Dani Dennis Sutton, Nicholas Singleton, and Katron Allen. First, Dani Dennis Sutton, a senior defensive end, stands at 6'5", 265 pounds. In 2024, he recorded 42 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks, and an interception, shining in the college football playoffs with 4.5 sacks, including a standout performance against Notre Dame. He had a half sack or more in 9 of their games last season. While he played alongside Abdul Carter, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, some coaches felt like Dennis Sutton was just as impactful. His sack numbers are elite, though his pass rush, win rate, and run stops suggest there's room to grow into the next Abdul Carter in 2025 under new defensive coordinator Jim Knowles. Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, both senior running backs, decided to come back, not go to the NFL yet, formed the nation's best backfield duo going into the season. Singleton, 6', 220 pounds, ran for nearly 1,100 yards last year and 12 touchdowns, adding 375 receiving yards. Allen, 5'11", 217 pounds, had 1,108 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. They became the first Penn State tandem to each surpass 1,000 rushing yards in a season, with Singleton leading the Big Ten in all-purpose yards. Their speed and versatility draw comparisons to Ohio State's 2024 running back duo of Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Illinois, with an addition on the list, Gabe Yakas, a senior outside linebacker, and Oregon's Mateo Uyunglele, a junior outside linebacker / edge, whatever you want to call him. I think he's a linebacker on the website. They round out the Big Ten's pass rushing presence. Yakas, a 6'3", 275 pounds, had 74 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles in 2024. He tied for the Big Ten lead in forced fumbles and shined against teams like Michigan, where he had 13 tackles in that game. Illinois' defensive coordinator Aaron Henry compared him physically to J.J. Watt and Bradley Chubb. The thing I love about him is he shows up in the big games. Uyunglele, 6'5", 270 pounds, led the Big Ten with 10.5 sacks in the regular season, adding 37 tackles and 12.5 tackles for loss. He had a sack in 9 games, including 6-game streak, and was a force in Oregon's final regular season games. With 3 Oregon linemen drafted in 2024, Uyunglele will be a focal point in 2025. His advanced stats are close to Abdul Carter level, making him a prime candidate to dominate. Ohio State's Max Clare, a junior tight end, was a bit of a surprise inclusion for me, but at 6'4", 236 pounds, Clare transferred from Purdue, where he led the team in receptions and ranked second among Big Ten tight ends with 685 yards and 4 touchdowns. Coaches see him as a potential top NFL draft pick at his position, and his move to Ohio State could elevate his profile under head coach Ryan Day and offensive coordinator Brian Hartline. As I watched Purdue last year, he popped off the screen a ton. They could hardly get on the ball though, but when you watched him on routes, when you watched him as a blocker, left a little bit to be desired as a blocker, but very technical receiver, good athleticism, very good with his hips. He won't wow you with his blocking, like I said, but he is smart and for sure someone who deserves to be mentioned on this list. While the Big Ten's 8 selections are impressive, some notable players from different Big Ten teams were overlooked as well, and also some from the same teams. Ohio State fans might have expected maybe Sonny Styles or cornerback Davison Igbinosun to be on the list, both dynamic defenders who could have made the cut. Indiana with multiple guys. 2 I'll mention are D'Angelo Pons, a standout cornerback, and Mikel Kamara, an edge rusher, were strong candidates, as well as the freshman phenom star in Koi Parrish, who was a safety and return specialist last year, now getting talk about being a receiver on offense, which is absolutely insane. It makes it unacceptable that he was not listed in the top 25. Seriously, Adam Rittenberg, how can you not include Koi Parrish in your top 25? The dude has the potential to be the next Travis Hunter, but fine, you can sleep on Minnesota all you want. People do it all the time, and you're at ESPN, so it's par for the course. ESPN or Penn State's Devontae Ross, a rising wide receiver, and AJ Harris, cornerback, also deserved consideration. You could have said Pena. You could have said a number of guys here as well. Washington's Jonah Coleman, a powerful running back, felt like he could have had one. If you wanted a bit of an underrated dark horse, Rutgers DT Sheffield, a versatile wide receiver as well. If you wanted a special teams player, Dominic Zavada from Michigan, a reliable kicker. USC's Kamari Ramsey, a safety, and Iowa's Aaron Graves, a defensive lineman, were other Big Ten names who could have cracked the list, in my opinion. The Big Ten's 8 playmakers, though, we're not going to complain about them. Smith, Downs, Clare, Dennis Sutton, Singleton, Allen, Yakas, and Uyunglele represent the conference's depth and talent. Smith and Downs are arguably the best at their position with Heisman potential. Dennis Sutton must step up without Carter, while Singleton and Allen, a historic duo. Don't be surprised if Singleton gets some Heisman consideration as well with what he can do all over the field. And then Yakas Uyunglele are pass rushing forces, and Claire's inclusion signals his breakout potential at the national level. The omissions like Styles, Pons highlight the Big Ten stacked rosters. As 2025 approaches, these players will shape the race for the college football playoffs and beyond. Tell me, did they miss anybody? Who is your top playmaker? Let me know. We'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for more on the Big Ten Huddle. Like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. We would greatly appreciate seeing you at a live episode on Sunday, Tuesday, or Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good one.